Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. When a head coach tells everybody that he has to coach better, it may work the first time. The second time, it gets a little old. The third time, the general manager or owner may start believing it. Freddie-Kitchens may or may not be at fault for what's going on with the Browns, and maybe for the first time, John-Dorsey might be questioned, but I do know this. Jimmy-haslam isn't going to take the blame. Maybe we were all disillusioned by what we all saw last year. On the other hand, after the New England game in 2 weeks, there are 7 winnable games on the Browns' schedule. It's time to stop playing the blame game and time to start winning some football games. Andy Baskin is here. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Tuesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into our 24th consecutive year and seen exclusively on cleveland.com. Andy Baskin from 92.3 The Fan is here. You've been in the back, the green room. We don't have a green room.
Sure you do.
Well, if we had one, you'd be rehearsing in the back room.
I was la 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 la. That's all I had.
I'd love you to do that one day.
It reminds me of 5th grade, Belvoir Elementary School.
Yeah.
I had to go. My mom said, you got to tell the teacher you are no longer a soprano. I think I was an alto. And I had to go into the teacher and go,
You got traded from
I'm
soprano?
no longer an alto.
You went to Belvoir, wasn't that called Garrity?
It was Garrity after. Garrity was actually the principal when I was there.
You know, you're getting old. I knew Lori Garrity. I knew
Garrity
her.
To me.
And I know these people that have things named after them, and that tells more about me than it does about them, I think.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that I was at the Les-Levine laundromat the other day.
Yeah, we launder money there.
Among other things.
All right, so I saw you a couple of days in a row. We actually did work. People ask us if that's work. Is it work?
No, not with you. It's not work.
You're
with
just
Jeff,
saying
it's not
that.
work. No, it's true. I love working with you. I love working with Jeff, and I think my respect for you is through the roof, so I think that makes a difference.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, explain this one to me.
Why do I respect you?
No. Did you ever, in your wildest imagination, believe that you could talk sports all day long or all work day long and actually get paid enough to make some kind of a living?
No.
What was the goal when you started?
My goal was radio. My goal was always radio. I always wanted to do that.
Talk?
No, I just wanted to be a DJ. And I was a DJ by the time I was 19 on 92Q.
I was the worst DJ. You know, when you start, you have to do everything.
Yeah.
I did this in Indiana. I was the world's worst disc jockey, but I always played Bridge Over Troubled Water because it was the longest song we had.
So you could go to the bathroom.
Or whatever you needed to do.
So I worked for a guy you could not talk fast enough.
On the air?
Yeah, and at the time, 92Q became Hot 92 FM, and you could not talk fast enough for him. So I remember when I first started, I was talking too slow, and he's like, you got to speed it up, And then by the time I was done, it was triple the music, Hot 92 FM, everybody. How you doing? That's Andy Baskin spitting until midnight right now. And ready? Milli Vanilli, Blame It on the Rain on Cleveland's Red Hot. 20 in a row FM, Hot 92 FM.
Okay, so now the shift is over.
Yes.
And you go home or you go to your roommates or somebody you're dating or your wife, whatever it was.
Or my mom and dad.
Or your mom and dad.
19, yeah.
Okay, did you start talking to your mom and dad like that?
Yeah,
hey, Mom, was
I need
for dinner.
on rye with mustard. I want you to get on that. Hurry up. I need that now. All right, playing the hits.
And you were Andy Baskin, no fake name?
I've always been Andy Baskin. Yeah.
Any thought to changing it for business purposes?
The only reason I ever would have changed my name is if somebody else was Baskin in the market.
Beat you to it, yeah.
And then I would have been Andy Roberts.
So you went to Wyoming.
Montana.
Or Montana.
It's the same thing.
Well, yeah, one's bigger than the other. What was the purpose there? Just to get experience or TV or
so
what?
I had 2 job offers right out of Kent State. And I remember talking to Phelps because I tried to get hired by Jeff. And Jeff was this Kent State guy that was very successful because he had a job in Beaumont. And the teachers there would say, call Jeff Phelps. He'll help you, at least set you straight.
And did he?
Yeah, he did. He told me he sent out 160 tapes and got 1 bite. Do you remember the movie Revenge of the Nerds?
Yes.
Remember how they got their affiliation with the one fraternity?
No.
Why they decided to join them? Because they didn't send their picture in. They sent their picture to everybody else, And the one fraternity the one fraternity that did accept them was the one where they didn't send their pictures in.
Ah, nice.
The Tri-Lambs, right?
I talked to a guy in Indiana trying to get it was a combination sports job and disc jockey. And he said, well, send a tape.
Sports and disc jockey?
Well, I was going to do high school games on Friday and Saturday nights and disc jockey whenever. And he said, well, send a tape. And I knew if I sent a tape, it doesn't even go to the bottom. It doesn't even get to the station.
No.
I said, can you be there? I knew how long it took. It took 7 hours to drive there. I said, can you be there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock? He says, well, yeah, that's when I'm here. I says, I'll see you then. And I got in there, got the interview, and they needed somebody to start quickly, so they hired me on the spot.
Wow.
Which they would not have done had I sent a tape in.
Probably. That's probably true. I believe that. Yeah.
I'd still be waiting for a response.
Way to show the initiative there.
Oh, what did I know? I had nothing to do that night.
Probably not.
All right, so
I have two offers. You want to talk sports? You want to hear my
No, well, yeah, no. I want to hear what you want to say, and then I want to. We put off long enough what happened last night, so we'll get to that other stuff.
Cavs had a big win last night. Who'd they play?
That team from down south.
Oh, that's right, the team from South Argentina.
All right, so tell me about the
Just
job
real quick,
offer.
I had two job offers. One was Alpena, Michigan. The other one was Missoula, Montana. Alpena said, "Hey, you're going to
Where's Alpena? Up in
it's on the thumb.
Yeah,
it's on the thumb. Hey, we're going to make you our weekend sports guy." I'm like, "Oh my God, that's great." They said, "But by the way, you got to do 2.5 minutes of weather before you do sports." I was like, "Yeah, that's no problem. I don't care. I graduated. I did weather at TV2 at Kent." And they were like, "And by the way, you'll still be the weekend sports guy, but you've got to do 2.5 minutes of weather and 5 minutes of news." I was like, "So wait, am I the news guy, the weather guy, the sports guy?" And they were like, "Well, you're all of those." And I was like, "All right, I'm good." And then for some reason we didn't finalize the deal. And on Monday I got a call I was coaching hockey at Shaker. And I got a call. I remember getting off the ice on my skates and going to talk to the news director in Missoula, Montana, who was a huge fan of Dave Logan.
Oh.
And
Wide receiver.
he said, "Hey, I'm a Browns fan. I like that." I was like, "Dave Logan's one of my favorite guys." And I ended up getting the weekend job in Missoula, partially because I like Dave Logan. Isn't that crazy?
No, that stuff like that happens.
Yeah, it was weird.
I had a guy. I was working in Jasper, Indiana, doing sports, doing everything, and the guy who was doing the sports at the same time, we did. There was an AM station and an FM station, so on weekends you're doing games all over the place. And this guy was probably in his mid-50s, stuck in Jasper, Indiana, and was as good as anybody I've heard in the 50 years since then.
Wow.
And
But he was
just
stuck
had,
there? He
was
just didn't want
stuck
to
there,
leave? Or?
family, whatever life reasons.
Sure.
And, I mean, he had the initiative and an agent. But who had agents then? But he was sensational.
And then Les-Levine came in and knocked him out.
Well, Les Moore in those days.
Oh, you were Les Moore?
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
I was Les Moore for one paycheck, and I couldn't cash it, so I became Les Levine again.
Oh, good part on you.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy Baskin, 92.3. The Fan is with us. All right.
Levine was too Italian? That's
Much too
for
Italian.
That, okay, just making sure.
So I changed it. Truth be told,
I know where you're going. Let's go.
my
Go.
real name
I know where you're going.
is O'Brien.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going.
I'm not going to go that way.
Okay.
But I changed it to Levine for business purposes.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I get it. No,
So
it
that's
makes
really
sense.
worked out well for me.
That's
Okay.
not how you would tell the joke in the commercial, though.
No.
Okay,
and with your daughter here.
Yes, okay.
Also. Okay. What happened last night? Any idea?
We looked like garbage. I mean, really.
That's too easy. What happened?
I think San Francisco came out prepared. They came ready. They were rested. They had their scheme. They had their game plan. They were ready to play the Browns. They were ready to silence their critics that thought that their 3-0 was kind of a mystical 3-0.
Didn't you think it was?
I thought it was a little mystical
Yeah, kind of a phony
because I
3-0.
watched Cincinnati and I've watched Pittsburgh. That's
Right.
why. So I wasn't sure. They set out to let everybody know that there were no mistake about it. They were going to be a team that's going to be reckoned with.
And they had a week off to think about it.
Yeah, and so I think that makes a huge difference. I also think that the Browns felt really good about themselves, and it took one play to knock out their confidence.
By the way, I'm going to digress,
Okay. Yes, thank you.
As Tim May would say. You and I had an interview yesterday with Alex Boone.
Yes.
Maybe one of the best interviews that I've ever been a part of.
Oh, so funny.
Ever.
And you know who you wanted to win, right?
Yeah.
Who?
I think San Francisco.
I think he did too, but you know
Yeah.
what? He got paychecks from San Francisco
Sure.
somewhere along the line. So, I mean, I can't get mad at a guy for
No, I
that.
can't get mad at all. And we'll talk a little bit later about Nick-Bosa and what he did.
But Booney was excited.
He was
I
tremendous.
mean, he was through the roof on the phone.
Okay, so the game starts out with first play, touchdown, San Francisco.
Right.
Cleveland's still in that game. If Callaway holds on to that ball, which he should have,
Right.
it's 14-10.
Correct.
You're in
Maybe
the
even
ball
11 if you go for 2.
Or 11.
Yeah.
Who knows what Freddie's going to do?
Probably not, but okay.
No, you don't know what he's going to do.
True, especially when you look at the first play. Did you think there were too many trick plays yesterday? Did you think that was too many gadget stuff?
Gadgets are for teams that aren't good enough to win or not good enough to outplay the other team. And a gadget on the first play of the game. And I'll tell you what.
That didn't bother me. I didn't have a problem with it.
There's something that did bother me.
But on the first play of the game,
No. What bothered me is Beckham returning a punt when the game was over.
So I said the same thing. Jeff and Mennigan were both kind of like, well, they were trying to get a spark.
No, that game was over.
A spark, you could lose this great wide receiver.
If you're gonna
even if he's only getting 2 targets a game or 4 targets a game, then if you don't try to get him the ball, then you've wasted that whole trade.
That's correct. And if you're not going to play him in exhibition games with the excuse that he might get hurt, you can't put him in that situation when they're going 100% full go, and him even if he returns it for a touchdown, so what?
I totally agree with you. You're 4 touchdowns back. I don't know why.
This show is over.
Well, I don't know. All right. Well, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Why are you smarter coming up next on More Sports and Less Levine?
This portion of More Sports and Less Levine brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. All right. We mentioned Antonio-Callaway. Comes back. I think he did a number on his teammates. What he did wasn't fair to the Browns, wasn't fair to his coach, and wasn't fair to the fans of the Cleveland Browns. And he comes back and he's not ready.
Let's be honest. I mean, you're just putting the nice things on there because those are actively on the field. He has hurt this team in all 4. How many games have played? 5 games this season.
5 games. How about that he was out of position?
And then he said, I'm not used to playing position. He said, I'm not. I think he was lined up in the X when he's used to being the Y, wide receiver.
You know what?
You're joking, right?
Cut him
That's
today.
a joke?
I'd cut him today.
I don't know how you can do that. So you got all there. It was 0 for 3.
0 for 3 and he was targeted.
Yeah.
And I admit that was a tough play by.
I thought the pass was bad. I'll be honest with you.
The pass was bad, but it was an only place that was intended for him only. And if he catches it, and he bobbles it, pops it up in the air, and Baker-Mayfield gets credited or debited with the interception. That part isn't fair to Baker. Not that I'm sticking up for him because he was horrible last night.
He's 0-5. He let the team down for the first 4 games by being suspended. And then last night, I wasn't mad at him until I heard him talk after the game. That's when I got mad.
That's how I felt.
I was like, you don't know the difference between X and Y? What? We're not talking about right tackle, left tackle.
Well, but if you don't know
We're not talking about playing quarterback or playing tight end.
Wouldn't you show that during the week when you're practicing that you don't know? If they're going over that play and he doesn't know it, doesn't somebody like a coach have to come up to him and say, here's what the X does, here's what the Y does?
What was he doing for 4 weeks?
I don't know.
How does he not know what the X and Y do? You're a wide receiver. Les, if I tell you you're a wide receiver, let's say we have 20 different routes that we possibly could run.
Okay.
Do you not know the 20 different routes, whether you're playing X or Y?
Yes, I should. Yeah, I should know
I would think they're exactly the same.
They're exactly the same, and you're getting paid a paycheck. What else are you doing for it? You got too much time on your hands that you can't study the playbook a little bit? Wait, what did you get from that? That he hasn't seen a playbook in his life?
I don't. To me, it's bothersome that a professional football player can't, at a wide receiver position, which is wide receiver. That's the position.
Right.
Sometimes you're the first guy in. Sometimes there's the second guy. Sometimes you're the third guy. What? Are you always the first guy in the right-hand side? If that's the case, wow.
I don't know.
How are you in the NFL?
How do the coaches not know that? How do they call a play if they don't have confidence that the guy knows where to run?
You don't. Well, you don't put him in on the play.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I give Freddie a little bit of credit. He trusted him as a professional athlete to go out on the field and execute, and he didn't do that.
Here's the stat of the month from the Ohio Lottery. Did you know there's over $6.25 million paid out on the Ohio Lottery pick games each week? With that amount of money, you can stop by your local retailer and try your luck. Pick 3, pick 4, and pick 5. Andy Baskin is here. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, when I say give him credit, I mean credit for sticking up after the game and saying, I made a mistake. That's where I give Freddie credit. I just want to make sure I say that.
You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. We've got a good question coming up and some great responses. We'll check that out. When we get back, we'll talk Nick-Bosa versus Baker-Mayfield. More Sports and Les Levine continues in a moment with Andy Baskin from 92.3 The Fan, and we're seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Andy, this is the worst birthday date of the entire century.
Really?
Yep. Danny Murtaugh managed the Pirates.
Okay.
Wikipedia, 1947.
Oh. I looked him up once. He had all kinds of information.
Was it right?
No, it didn't matter. Ricky would believe anything you would tell him.
Bill Hewitt in the Hall of Fame that nobody's ever heard of. But he's there, what the heck? 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy-Baskin, 92.3 The Fan. You hear him with Jeff Phelps from 10 until 2.
I was looking at your birthdays there. I didn't really know too many of those guys.
This is the worst date ever. We've had some total Hall of Famers born on the same day. Kind of amazing, then you get days like that. Now, nothing personal to any of these people. 216-575-0403.
Oh, wait.
What do you got?
Wikipedia is on the line for.
We talked about Baker-Mayfield. These stats are incredible. Let's take a look at them. His quarterback rating, how about that? 100 yards passing, 8 for 22, a couple of interceptions and a fumble that was lost. A 13.4 quarterback rating. 13.4, that's a baker's dozen. If a quarterback were to, how about this?
I read that.
If he just would spike the ball on every play, he would have finished with the quarterback rating higher at 39.6. Now that may show you what a phony stat the quarterback rating is, but still, if you spike the ball 22 times.
That's like if you write your name on the SAT,
Yeah,
same
right.
kind of thing.
That's exactly
Is that
right.
Baker's mugshot from when he was trying to when he was getting chased down by the police in college?
Could be.
That's what it looked like.
Could be. Meanwhile, you must admit some of those commercials are clever. But if he doesn't do better than 100 rating point,
What stadium is that? That's what I'm trying to figure
I think
out.
it's.
No, that's not.
You don't
ours.
think it's First Energy?
Unless they've doctored it up so it doesn't look like it's First Energy.
Boy, it looks like First Energy to me.
It's orange, but if you look, the tunnels are in the wrong place. There's no tunnel.
Oh, I haven't noticed.
Yeah, look. You'll notice it next time. You'll be like, Andy was right. That's not really First Energy.
And you know what? When he gets the food for his wife,
Yes.
it's too long. The aisles are too long.
Yeah, and the electrical panel, when he was trying to
Now
turn the
you got
blender
me.
on,
Yeah.
I don't think that was put in by the good folks at Local 38.
All right, you
so
got me now.
I didn't see the Local 38 sticker in there.
This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. Okay, so last night, Baker-Mayfield got nick-bosa got some revenge on Baker-Mayfield. On behalf of all Ohio State fans, how did you feel about it?
I think that when you talk, you better be willing to put up. And if you stink, you stink, and people are going to start talking trash back at you. You want to talk trash? Expect to get trash back. And that's what happened
the other thing
last
is, the only people who would say there was nobody around the country would say there was anything wrong with it.
Nobody. Today I asked on our show Ohio State and Browns fans together, you know?
Right.
And Ohio State fans seem to be okay with it. They didn't seem to bother
Well,
them.
let's look at this. We'll take a look at our Facebook question of the day. And
Okay.
what is your reaction to the Nick-Bosa celebration mocking Baker Mayfield? All right, we start with Glenn Burker. I don't have a problem with Bosa's act. Payback is a wonderful thing, in lieu of saying something else.
Yeah, that was the gist of what most people were saying on our show today. Keep
Wayne
going.
Richard Lyons, great move, no problem with what he did. Mayfield needs to shut up and figure out how a pro quarterback needs to act. People are not happy.
No,
Dennis-
I've
Dennis-
heard punk a lot.
Ooh.
Last couple days.
Dennis Davis, karma is not always pretty. We need to wipe off the dirt from our uniforms and get to work. Seattle's coming to town and they'll be ready to play.
Agree with that. Totally.
Doug Edwards, as the old saying goes, what goes around comes around. Ed Arlen, it was fantastic. Don Uplinger, go Bucks. David Sweeney, you don't want the other team to celebrate, then stop them.
It's a great point. He's right.
Eric James, he earned it.
Bosa had a great game. He looked and
Fantastic.
I mean, he owned the Browns. He owned the Browns.
When he made the first play, the first sack, I'm saying, well, good for him. And I'm a total Browns fan, but I like to see Ohio. If it doesn't hurt my chances to win a game, I like to see what the Ohio State guys are doing. For some reason, I had no problem at all with what he did because I think I was so upset with Baker Mayfield and freddie-kitchens that whatever anybody could do to get back at him was okay with me.
So how mad are you are you mad at Freddie for what? That's my question, because there were a lot of plays that Baker, I can think of 4 or 5 right off the top of my head, where Baker threw high, threw into the ground, or took too much time. And
Yes.
when I see a play that goes too high, I don't think that's a bad play, especially if it looked like it would have worked.
Right.
I don't know that I'm mad at play calling as mad as most people are. I'm not.
For the first time, I felt that maybe they didn't make the right move getting Baker
Freddie.
Mayfield.
Oh, okay.
And I hope I don't stick with that, but I had a little thought about John Dorsey that wasn't pleasant.
Ken, what was that?
Maybe he's not the golden boy. Maybe John Dorsey's not the golden boy. I mean, look at some of the things he's done. Some of the guys he's drafted and what they've turned out to be. Right now, Callaway, what do you think? Yay or nay?
Nay. I mean,
Okay.
mentally, he's not there.
How about the offensive line? Nay or yay?
I think he got rid of one really good offensive lineman. I think I would do it again if it meant you were going to get Odell-Beckham-Jr. somewhere in the trade. I mean, multiple trades that kind of led to what we saw.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Odell Beckham, yay or nay?
Yay. I'm a yay on Beckham. I'm not. Look, I mean, even if he's not getting 8 to 12 targets a game,
Right.
then that's on the quarterback or that's on the head coach.
You got to find a way to get
You
it to
didn't
him.
get him that last night.
You didn't
They
get
got
him.
him 4 targets last night.
You didn't get him to be a decoy either.
No, I agree with you on that. He's not a decoy, but you got to get him the ball. And I don't think getting the ball means lining him up as a tailback. I mean, he had to run 11 yards to pick up 4
Right.
last night. That made no sense to me at all.
Exactly.
Throw him up on the line and go get him the ball. Let him go get the ball and do something.
And make the other team put 2 guys on him so you can open up something else.
I'm not disappointed with him. I do think the defense is improved. Yes, they didn't look good yesterday. Yes, you're also going to have bad games in the NFL. The problem with the Browns now is they've had 2 bombs out of 5 that have just been complete horse hockey. And that's the problem. You can't get beat by 30 points twice in 5 games. That's bad. Even Hugh Jackson didn't do that.
This is Les-Levine from Northeast Factory Direct. No gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales, no typical retail nonsense. Just 3 bare-bone big warehouses filled with some of the same stuff you're going to find at a number of stores, except for one thing. It's going to be half price or even more taken off of that. The bottom line is nobody is going to touch their everyday savings or quality. West 140th Street in Cleveland, the old B&B Appliance in Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid. Freeway Drive in Macedonia is the new one. East and west and south also. Or check out everything anytime. NortheastFactoryDirect.com. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. Coming up this Saturday, it's a big one. It's the $125,000 Courageous Lady Stakes. That's coming up this Saturday. And of course, you can catch the excitement of live harness racing every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting at 6 p.m. with the post time. Then on Saturday and Sunday, 6:40 is the post time, but they're open early every day at noon for simulcast action all over the world at Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day.
I love Northfield Park. Love going there.
Great.
So much fun.
Did you go as a youngster?
So
Not illegally.
No, my grandfather would take me to both of the racing establishments here
Right.
in Northeast Ohio. And I
Did you understand it?
as I got older, I liked going to Northfield a little bit more because I just think it's a good date night. I think it's a lot of fun.
Did your grandfather say, here's the racing form, go get him?
No, my grandfather was great at picking the place horse every time.
Really?
He would say, go put $5 on the 8 horse to win,
Right.
and that horse would place every
Good
time.
enough.
But I would never win any money.
Mike Masetta, great guy coming up. He's going to set us straight on what happened. Mike, of course, from Nature Stone. He'll come back with us. Andy Baskin with us. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Oh, gosh. Playing Ohio Lottery Pick 3, I see. What are you going to do? A box bed, a split pairs, or a wheel? Well, old Picky-Ricky here is a straight shooter.
Okay.
It razzes my berries when newbies think betting's hard. Straight bets are easy peasy. Just match 3 numbers in order and win the old-fashioned way. This, on the other hand, is not so simple. Oh, God. Oh, jeez Louise. Ow! Play the Ohio Lottery Pick 3 today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Time for a How Come Quickie. How come the next time Baker-Mayfield plants a flag, it may be intercepted?
Tell me you wrote that today.
I did, well, no, I wrote it last month. Of course,
I don't
it had to
know.
be
I
today.
thought maybe that was an old one you took out of your Oklahoma
No, I
bag.
didn't. From my Oklahoma bag.
Yes.
216-575-0403.
Fresh cookie or quickie.
Yeah.
Right out of the oven.
Oh, we don't repeat these unless we're brain dead that day. Mike Masetta is never brain dead. Mike from Nature Stone. Wow, it's Nature Stone. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Les.
Andy
How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, is here tonight.
We share a doctor. How are you, Andy?
Yes, we do share our doctor. Yes. We can't tell you the things that he does, but we do share a very good doctor.
This is something I don't need to know. Everybody okay here?
We're all good. How'd your physical go? Good?
Yes,
I like
very
it.
good.
For HIPAA reasons, we can't say that Andy and Mike have the same doctor.
We just can't tell you who he is now.
Right, or what they have.
But if he wants to pay for a spot, we probably could get him on.
We'd find room for him. We'd find room. All right, Mike, we've put off really dissecting what happened tonight, so we're going to leave it up to you, and Andy and I are going to go find somewhere where we can get an adult beverage. What happened? What was that last night?
I'm with you on that flag, only I think nick-bosa is going to put that flag in his basement.
Do you have a problem with what he did?
No.
No, me
Baker
neither.
did it to him. I don't have a problem with what Bosa did. I mean,
No.
it was fun. You know, there wasn't any animosity to it. It was a fun thing that he did. I don't have a problem with it.
How about that he waited 2 years to get that punchline in there?
Oh, it was great. I mean, he knew. I mean, that had to have been something that he thought about before the game, because he knew exactly what he was going to do as soon as he got that sack. I mean, it was perfect too.
Yeah, but Mike,
third down, it was get off the field, and
halftime.
It was great.
Yeah.
Mike, if he had Nature Stone in his basement, though, there's no way he would have been able to plant that flag, right?
He's The Stone's way too strong. We couldn't have gotten that flag in there. Even Nick-Bosa, as strong as he is. Maybe Nick, Joey, and his father would have been able to get it in there.
We have the new commercial for Nature Stone. Even Nick-Bosa can't penetrate this thing.
We had Stipe, now we got Nick-Bosa.
All right, you're kind of putting us off here also. You don't want to talk about what happened, do you?
What a debacle. You know, it's crazy because I actually sat up and watched the entire game because there was points during the game where my crazy mind actually thought that they had a chance to get into the end zone and make it a game.
No, the only time I thought that was when Callaway dropped that ball and it turned into an interception. Would have been 14-10 and they'd be fine.
Mike, I did the same thing, though. Look, as a Browns fan, you start doing, and I always call it Browns math, where you start multiplying or dividing by 7 to try to figure out how the Browns can get back in. And you're like, well, you know what? If they get the ball back and they get 2 onside kicks, and if they go for 2, they're back in this thing. That's the problem with being a Browns fan.
The problem with doing it that way is you can't multiply it by 7. It's got to be 6 because you never had a kicker.
But Robbie Gould, man, missed 3 field goals. Siebert was 1 for 1, so that's a good thing. We beat them in that category.
How about this? In training camp, the biggest worry most of us had was the punting and place kicking part of the game, and these 2 guys are the only ones that you can count on.
Their punting and place kicking might be the best in the league.
Well, you're a little early. 5 games in the books.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Rex Ryan said whatever he said about Mayfield being a one-trick pony and staring down receivers. That's exactly what he was doing last night, and Booger McFarland was talking about it in the booth. And I was shocked. I mean, I could not believe, what I was seeing. I mean, he looked at one receiver the entire game, and that's where the ball went, he could deliver the ball.
He didn't do that last week. He did it the first couple of games. He didn't do it last week, which is why he was so good last week.
What I don't understand is, he's a short quarterback, and if you watch like the Saints play when Drew Brees is healthy, they always kind of roll the pocket a little bit to get him to the outside just a little bit. They don't necessarily roll him out; they just kind of shift the pocket, and they always have a back or a tight end within that 5-yard zone as dump off, so that if the rush gets to him or there's nobody available downfield, there's an easy, 3 or 4 yard catch there just to get some positive yards. They don't do that with Baker at all.
Yeah. Hey, correct me if I'm.
Every single play was 20 yards plus downfield. He had to wait, 3-4 seconds to throw the ball, and I can't tell you how many balls got knocked down just because, there was so much time between when he took the snap and when he was delivering the pass.
Yeah. All right, both of you correct me or not correct me on this. All of a sudden, he's starting to look small, which, that was always the gripe about drafting him because of his height. He's starting to look small. But also, I thought he was a better passer on the run toward the side. When he does go toward the sideline, I don't see him being a good passer at that point. And he was last year. Am I right or wrong, Andy?
I think he was better last year than he is this year. I also think that if you're not giving San Francisco's front 4 or even the 8 guys that they were sticking in the box last night credit for having a great game plan. And I told you yesterday on the radio, you said, how do you beat Baker-Mayfield because he's got all these weapons? I'm like, just throw everything but the kitchen sink at him and he's going to get nervous. He got nervous after the initial turnover, and then all of a sudden he started to collapse.
Mike, you agree with that?
I do. Baker was much better last year at rolling out and throwing the ball on the run. He gets too much depth in his rollout now, where he's going away from the throw, and he can't deliver it, and he never steps up in the pocket anymore, where he can find the openings to deliver the ball, which is something that like a Tom Brady is really good at. But he did that all year last year. I think that and I've said this on the show multiple times. And Freddie-Kitchens had a good game calling plays last week, and he will have good games. When you're a first-year head coach and you're calling plays, it's a very difficult thing to do. And when you get caught in a situation where the defense has game planned for you and you are now at their mercy, if you don't have an offensive coordinator or somebody to step in and change the narrative for you or game plan a little bit differently, make adjustments, it's you're seeing what's happening. He's stuck in the same game plan.
Yeah.
He's doing the same thing over
that didn't
and
work
over
in the
again,
first half.
and he doesn't come out of it. Against the Ravens, it was great because it worked. But against the 49ers, it wasn't, and he couldn't adjust.
No, the one
I think
thing
a lot of it has to do with that.
The one thing that Baker did well last week that had been a problem before is I thought earlier he was throwing off his back foot all the time, which he didn't do last week, but he did it a little bit last night.
He did do it a little bit last night, yeah.
So that's a problem. Mike, we got to go. Any final comment besides, wow, it's Nature Stone?
Well, looking forward to an Indians offseason. They got a lot of good players coming back, and if they're healthy, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year.
All right, we got plenty of time to talk before. When's training camp start? Next week, maybe?
Next week, yeah.
No, a little too late. All right, Mike, I'll say, by the way, just say one thing about what's coming up on Saturday, if you can make it quick. Saturday, what the dedication in Twinsburg.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so there was a field in Twinsburg Township, and the field is being named after my grandpa and my Uncle Chuck. My grandpa's nickname was Yaya, and so they're going to be naming this field. It's a youth field that they're doing for the kids in Twinsburg. Beautiful job that they did there with this field, and real excited to have it named after my grandpa, who was a tremendous softball player, Hall of Fame softball player, and my uncle, who was just a guru of sports for his entire life. So Mike, memorial to them, two great men.
Mike, as you know, my brothers and I knew Yaya. And he's probably right now, if you go to the top 5 players in the history of softball in Cleveland, he's right there.
Thank you, Les. We appreciate that. My whole family does, and we love Yaya very much. Wish he was still here, but what a tremendous ball player he was. I got to play catch with him a little bit when I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun. His hands were unbelievably fast.
Well, you've changed a little bit. When I said top 5, you used to argue and say top 2.
He was number 1. I can't think, in terms of the fact that he played shortstop and all these other guys were outfielders or first basemen.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit the ball like a top 5 guy, but he was defensively, he was number 1.
Yeah, so. He was a great player.
Mike, Liberty Park, is that where the new one is? The new field?
It's not Liberty Park.
It's across from the FedEx.
Township.
Across from the FedEx.
I don't have the name off the top of my head.
It's on Harvard Avenue, across from where the FedEx.
On 82?
Building.
Off
exactly,
82.
On 82 there.
It's across
but
from
on Harvard off of 82 there.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right,
Mike,
I will see you on Saturday for that. That's 2 o'clock, right?
2 o'clock. You got it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks,
luck
Mike.
with that.
Wow, it's Nature Stone. All right, we've got the voicemail of Truth and Reason that if you want to give us a call, if you can't catch us when we do the show, which is live from 6 until 7 Eastern Time, you can call us at 216-200-6650. Leave a message. We'll get it on the air if it's airworthy, which most of them are. Coming up, we'll look ahead to the next week. Andy Baskin with us. More Sports and Les-levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. This date in history, October 8, 1956, Yankee pitcher Don Larson throws the only perfect game in World Series history, beating the Brooklyn Dodgers by a score of 2-0 in his career. How about that? Larson goes 81-91.
Unbelievable.
And how about this? His wife served him divorce papers the morning of that game.
No, that's not true.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, if that didn't give you enough incentive to go pitch a perfect game.
Wow. Hey, you know,
he's still living. He's 90.
You were talking about softball fields. There's a softball field also in Twinsburg, and I thought at first it's the varsity softball field at Twinsburg High School. It's named for Franklin Hoon, who I believe is Larry Hoon's grandfather.
How are you spelling Hoon?
H-O-O-N.
Okay.
And Larry obviously was a great wrestling coach at Cleveland Heights.
Okay.
And his son Adam, and Menor, his son Adam was at Menor, was a wrestler at Menor, and then also is the wrestling coach at Bedford right now. So it's interesting when you go around and you see names and you write and you're like, oh my God, I know that family.
I played for that guy.
How good of a softball player was Masudis?
Yaya?
Yeah.
The best.
So where would he play?
Best, Morgana Park. And,
okay.
All the world tournaments. He was a world-class player.
So my softball world starts with watching the competitors on TV or the Jaybirds. Remember the Jaybirds?
I folded both of those teams.
No, you didn't. Yeah. What do you mean you folded both? You folded both of those teams?
Yeah.
So you did play-by-play for both those teams. So you worked for Ted Stepien?
I did.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And
say it. You can do it.
Your daughter's here.
She's okay. She's got her earbuds in.
So she's not hearing what I'm saying?
She doesn't hear a word you're saying.
So he owned the Competitors Lounge, the old Statler 12th and Euclid.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Was it a gentleman's?
Almost a gentleman's club.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Almost a gentleman. And I to get paid.
Right.
I had to go there to pick it up.
Gotcha. I had a similar story like that, but go ahead.
They paid me in singles. I didn't know what that meant at the time.
Are you serious? That is not true.
I've told it so many times I don't remember if it's true or not. Andy-baskin with us. All right, Seattle Seahawks coming in.
Yes, tough game.
They're good.
Yes, they are.
They're good. Russell Wilson, he's good.
Yes, and they had an extra day to prepare.
Yeah, they do. Look at this. 4-1 on the season, just defeated the Rams. By the way, the Rams, phony team. Russell Wilson.
Really? You think they're a phony team? Then you're trying to tell me Seattle's not real then?
No, Seattle's more real than Los Angeles.
You really think the Rams are a phony team?
Yeah.
I think that the Niners are better than the Rams, but
okay. There, proof is in the pudding.
But that doesn't mean they're phony. They're just upper middle pack. That's what I say, upper middle of the pack.
As good as they are, you have to have a combination of them maybe on an off day and the Browns coming back from whatever funk they were in over the weekend. So what happens this week? I can't figure this team out.
I don't. They went from 2.5-point favorites to 1.5 underdogs at home
on this game.
Yes, over in the last 24 hours, which makes sense to me, doesn't it? I mean, I said that to Jeff. He goes, "Well, why does that make sense?" And I was
it makes sense because
the Browns look like garbage last night.
Right, and people who have not seen the Browns and only heard the hype, they have to change their minds after they saw what they saw. That doesn't mean the Browns can't turn it around and play like a real team.
Telich had a great line about him on Fox 8 tonight.
Okay.
And it was just the background was not ready for prime time. And that's really what they are. They're not ready for prime time yet. And that's where the Browns are going to have to get better. I think that they've had a lot of pressure with a lot of nationally televised games early on. Whether that matters to them or not, I think it matters to the mainstream media, to the fans and the media. And I think that they've had good games against, I shouldn't say that, they've played against quality teams.
In the next segment, we're going to look at some of the national reaction. You're not going to believe some of the things that you heard. Let's go to Dayton, Ohio. Dick in Dayton, how are you, sir?
Dick!
Hey, Les. Hey, Andy.
How are you?
Well, Les, you got to look. They did look pretty bad. I was really disappointed, but I'm like you, Andy. I don't think they're ready for prime time, you know?
I think the networks might have messed up on the scheduling.
Yeah.
What you mean by giving them too many hard games together?
Like the way I mean, this is not the Browns we saw a week ago, but they just looked down, and then what I didn't understand, Bosa and that other guy, getting into it. But I really think that the Browns next week are going to rebound and win by 3. But I think they're going to get revenge. But I'm not going to give up hope on our Browns yet.
It's too early. You're right, Dick. I agree with you. It's too early.
There's plenty of time to give up hope.
That's true.
We know from the last 20 years, we know exactly when it's time, usually at the whistle. So Jim Ingram the other day says, he was on the show the other night, and he says, I got to leave. I got to get home in time for the first deferment.
Well, good to talk to you guys.
All right, Dick. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Northeast Factory Direct. You've heard about them, east and west and south. They're terrific. If all you want to do is save money, why would you go anywhere else? You shouldn't do that. Northeast Factory Direct, Lakeland Boulevard, that's in Euclid, West 140th in Cleveland, toward the airport, and of course Macedonia Freeway Drive. Check them out first at northeastfactorydirect.com. If you want to save money, that is exactly the place you want to go. 216-575-0403. I've set the Joe DiMaggio record so many times going to Sokolowski's University Inn every Thursday for the last 180 years. Almost.
Almost 180 years.
Almost.
That's not what my records show, but okay.
It's the 45th annual Clambakes every Saturday in October, starting at 4, going till 9. And it includes everything. You will not walk out hungry, I guarantee you that. If you want to be guaranteed the bake as ordered, 216-771-9236. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn, the winner of the James Beard Foundation Award. Only 5 in the country get it each and every year. And to my knowledge and the Sokolowski's knowledge, they're the only ones from Cleveland that has ever won that prestigious award. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the national reaction to the Browns' loss. Andy Baskin with us. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Tri-C. This date in Les-Levine history, Andy, 1959. Les's friend Bernie beats Les in a wiffle ball home run derby at Chavez-Levine. He goes to plant a flag in front of the house. Unfortunately for Bernie, you can't plant a flag in the street. It's cement, for goodness sakes.
I thought it was actually Nature Stone. So.
Oh, it could have been.
That Bernie. Man,
Bernie.
He was a crazy kid.
He was, absolutely.
I can't even believe you were friends with him.
You know what? Now he's a scout, Major League Scout.
Are you serious?
He didn't know anything about baseball as a kid. He's a Major League Scout now.
So was Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley.
Oh,
I used to see him in the press box all the time.
Was his hair like that?
No, but I used to feel bad. Like, I'd always want to walk up to him and say hi, you know, because he was Squiggy, but you don't want to...
Schlemiel, Schlemazel.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that because you see what he's really doing. He's a Major League Baseball scout, and you want to respect him for doing that, and but you keep doing this, don't you?
You know, we told you about... We told you about the voicemail of Truth and Reason. Ron Byer checks in. Let's hear what Ron has to say.
Hi, Les. This is Ron Byer. Hey, Les. As a true Browns fans, we have experienced many ups and downs of Browns games and have survived. It has made us stronger, not only on game days, but experiencing real everyday life of medical issues as well as daily issues. so that this team holds together like their fans. When the victories start to come, which I believe they will feel much more fulfilling for themselves as well as the fans.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. You agree?
Wow, that was
pretty deep.
Deep, passionate, emotional. I need a tissue. Do you have a tissue? No.
We get some after
I
the
hope
show.
he's right. I mean, look, without making fun of him for saying that, I agree with him. I just think that at some point we're going to feel that euphoria that we felt after the Cavs won.
I think we're different. Browns fans, Indians fans. I just talk to other fans in other cities. I just think we're different here because of the tough losses and the hard way to go.
I think there's generational things going on too. I mean, I think about the 70s. I think about the team moving. I think about industry leaving from Cleveland. I think
and
about
you were
all
so
these...
close to your dad, who was a big fan.
Yeah, and my grandfather too.
Yeah.
I mean, both my grand. I mean, that was, and I talk about all the time. You know, we talk about religion being Sunday our holiday or Saturday our holiday, depending on how you look at it. Religion at my house was Browns on Sunday, and
Absolutely.
You know, we always got together, and there was always this tradition of, especially because my dad worked for the Browns too. He was a scoreboard operator there for a while, an electrician down at
How about that phone call you and I got on your show yesterday about the lady who wanted to change the times of the game because of going to church?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that before?
I've heard you've talked about it before.
Yeah.
I've heard other people talk about it before, but it's NFL is Sunday. It's either church or football, I think, is the way a lot of people look at it. And people, especially in the East Coast time zone, are appreciative of that. But there are some folks that go to church on Sunday night or Saturday night.
By the way, I wasn't at the Sunday night game here when Al Michaels was here.
Yeah.
But Al was here maybe 15 years ago or so.
Al was on the show. We had Al on the show 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Well, I ran into the I sort of planned it to kind of be where he was, you know, as he's walking out, because I wanted to say something to him.
And you'd be, hey, are you Les Levine?
Yeah.
Cleveland sports
We share
legend?
a birthday.
Oh.
But
didn't realize
do you remember in the O.J. Simpson, the
Yes.
Bronco chase, and Al Michaels was on?
And he was talking to...
He's talking to Peter Jennings.
Yes.
And a phony Howard Stern call came in.
Yes.
And Al has to, and Peter Jennings had no idea.
Right.
And so Al Michaels says, Peter just wants you to know this, that was a farcical call. And he goes on and on. So when Al walked by me, I go, Al, excuse me, I hope this isn't a farcical game. And he stopped and he talked to me for 10 minutes about that night on the phone with Peter Jennings.
He's awesome.
He's great.
His interview that we did with him, and you can hear it at radio.com or go to 923thefan.com if you look it up. But he was great, and we talked about hockey, and we talked about his love for that and Lake Placid. And, you know, I was telling him about getting goosebumps when I walked into the arena, and that, you know, his voice rings in your head when you open the door at the Olympic Ice Center in Lake Placid, and it's amazing. It's truly amazing. That was one of my favorite interviews of all time.
Let's check out the national reaction to the Browns and their performance yesterday. We'll start with Dan Orlovsky from ESPN. I think the Browns are the #1 team in the NFL in regards to beating themselves. How about that?
Yeah, but you see, #1 in drops, penalties, and turnovers.
Yeah, that too. Michael Fabiano, the NFL Network. I miss the days when Odell Beckham played football with Eli Manning. Got a short memory.
Yes, he does.
Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network has this to say. The Browns are there, go to the plays to OBJ. And what's the purpose of acquiring the wide receiver? Good question.
I agree with that.
Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports. I can now pinpoint the exact moment on Freddie-Kitchens, and it was Odell Beckham was fielding a punt with 7 minutes left in a 28-3 blowout. No hope yet.
Bad in every way.
way.
It's the moment he gave up, huh?
Ryan McChrystal of the Bleacher Report. Freddie-Kitchens if he has the most undisciplined team in the league, arguably the most underachieving offense, he's got to look at him in the mirror and make some changes to what he's doing. So we couldn't find one positive thing. Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to paraphrase what he said. Did you hear what he said?
No, what did Stephen A. say?
He basically said that Baker-Mayfield is going to have a job when he gets out of football, and it may be sooner than he thinks.
Because he's getting beat up so much?
Yeah, well, and maybe he's not as good as people think. I'm not ready to buy into that yet.
That's early.
Tomorrow we've got, Dave Bacon's going to be here hosting for me, and the D-Man Dennis Maniloff will be here. We'll get to that, and we'll get to more. We'll get to some quickies. When we get back, Andy Baskin with us. More Sports and Les-levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Andy, tomorrow I take a well-deserved time out, a day off. Dennis Maniloff will be in here. Dave Bacon will host the show. Thursday night, Bud Shaw will be here when I come back. You can hear D-Man at WTAM 1100. He's doing very well over there.
Who determined that it was well-deserved? You?
Yeah.
Self-reflection.
What does it say on the name of this show?
Les-Levine.
More Sports and Les-Levine. Who else is going to determine whether it's well-deserved or
That's
not?
More Sports. That was a buddy of
You
mine.
can follow us on
Sports.
Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine with new content posted each and every day. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at you. Like I do every show.
Did you know Tri-C ranks in the top 10 in the nation in conferring associate degrees in health and health professions as well as related scientists? Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses in over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information.
I know now. I'm smarter. You made me smarter.
Yes, I did. Northfield Park. Got the big one coming up on Saturday night, the $125,000 Courageous Lady Stakes, Saturday, October 12th, and it's free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. Let's check out a How Come Quickie sent in by our friend John Patrick, and then we'll get to Bill in North Olmsted. John says, how come when I told my doctor I'm getting shorter, he said, well, you'll have to be a little patient. Good one? Bad one?
It was okay.
Let's go to Bill in North Olmsted. Hello, Bill.
Bill.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
I always call in on October 8th and November 20th for about the past 20 years left.
Let me guess. It has something to do with Stan Musial.
Yeah, but before we get to that, I wanted to draw an analogy with the flag planting.
Okay.
The analogy takes us back to the 1964 championship game between the Colts and the Browns. And the Browns were up 20-0, and Ryan throws the long bomb to Collins to make it 27-0. And then the Pro Bowl came back in the days when the Pro
Don
Bowl
Shula
really
was the
a
coach.
fun thing to watch. And
You know
remember
this story?
what happened?
Yeah, I do. They broke they broke Frank Ryan's shoulder.
Yeah, Gino Marchetti broke his leg.
Oh, okay. All right. Something like
So
that. Well, I'll tell
see
you
the
what,
analogy
Bill, I never understood that. The Browns are winning 20-0. You got 5 minutes left, and you have Jim Brown in the backfield. Why would you not just run out the clock?
I don't know. I was at that game. I was sitting in the bleachers, and the long bomb, they beat the cornerback by the name of Bobby Boyd.
Yeah.
And I thought, geez, they're really piling it on. And sure enough, the next game was the Pro Bowl, and Gino Marchetti the Colts broke Ryan's leg.
Yeah, I thought it was his shoulder, but you may be right. All right, what's on your mind with Stan Musial tonight?
Well, no, it's not Stan. It's actually, I consider the greatest individual performance in any sport at any time was Don Larson, even though he had a losing record in his career. But there's a lot of very interesting things that happened in that game. As you mentioned, he's still alive, but of the 19 players that played in that game, he's the only one that's still alive.
Is that right? And by the way, I don't think that was a strike to Dale Mitchell to end the game.
Well, I don't either, because I like Dale Mitchell. He was actually my favorite Indian back in those days. But you don't get, as Babe Pinelli, the home plate umpire, said, you don't get a chance to pitch a perfect game. And
he gave it to him. Hey, Bill, help me out on this. Dale Mitchell, who played for the Indians, had some ungodly figure of the amount of triples in one season. Do you remember what it was?
He had 23 triples in 1952, I believe.
23 triples.
But he also had, I think, something like close to 8,000 at-bats, and he only struck out 111 times. And he got peeved when people would want him on the show to talk about that last out.
Yeah, and he didn't strike out much.
He was a .312 lifetime hitter, and people only remember him for his strikeout.
All right, Bill, we got to run. Call earlier next time, please, please, please.
I called before the show was even on, Les.
Oh.
I haven't had any luck getting in anymore with you.
So popular, this
you
guy.
don't know that I sit here and talk, and then we take a break, and I run back and answer the phones?
Is that it? Didn't sound like you.
That's how it works.
But keep up the good work.
Hey, we still have 2 lines open. Hang on.
That's why it's a well-deserved day off.
Yes, it is.
All right, got to go, Bill. Thank you for the call. Thanks to the guys in the back. Thanks to my good friend Andy Baskin, who's terrific, and I appreciate what he does for me.
Thank you.
We will see you soon. And Andy Baskin, you can hear him with Jeff Phelps on 92.3 The Fan. I'll see you on Thursday night with Bud Shaw. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.